Bessy, what's the matter?
It's nothing, Tom. Only this is the beach. Just out that way on the Goodwin Sands is where Father picked me up at sea all those years ago. I often wonder who my kindred were.
Well, it was a Dutch ship, Bramble said, being buried below those roaring, raking waves. All seems so calm now. Above the sea, we cry, we flee, we fight. It swallows us up. And now it all seems so serene.
So, Emerson has been convicted for smuggling and sentenced beyond the seas.
I am sorry for it. But I think I could have gone that way too if not for so many good friends, and your Father Bramble's taking me under his wing as an apprentice Thames River pilot. And now I'm wanted to take ships all the way up channel.
A much better occupation than Emerson's smuggling. His house is to be let now, Tom. Would it not suit you? Father told me you wished to leave us.
Well, why should I live upon you? I might not have a job with the East India Trading Company, but I can support myself.
Who spoke of you being with the East India Company?
Did Bramble not tell you? Well, Bramble received a letter from the captain of an Indiaman offering me a midshipman's berth. I did not hear of it until my father told me. Bramble saw no point in it, as he was sure I would refuse, and he was quite right.
Why refuse? It's a decent enough position, is it not?
Yes. More genteel than a pilot, my mother says. But I've made up my mind. If I was ever to regularly serve, it would be on a man of war. Or an East India merchant vessel.
Is it not possible that after serving for some years you might become a captain?
That is true, but I prefer being a pilot. I'm more my own master. A pilot is always respected, go on board what ship he may.
Father says a pilot is supposed to have more knowledge than anyone else on board. All those lives in your care.
Even if there were no other objections to joining the East India Company, I would still be absent for 3 years at sea. Now that is more than sufficient reason for me to decline. I'd have to part with my family, with you and your Father Bramble, who are almost as dear to me as another father and another sister. A rolling stone gathers no moss, as they say.
You're quite right, Tom, and there's nothing quite like being content with who we are and what we've got.
I might probably become a richer man if I were to be the captain of an Indiaman. But if I was ever to buy a little farm, as Bramble is now able to do, I shall think myself quite rich enough. But one man thinks himself rich, and another would think that he was a beggar.
But you need not leave us and live in a house on your own just yet.
I might not have the riches of a captain, but I can afford to rent Emerson's house, and thereby relieve Bramble and you the burden of housing me.
It's no burden. If it were not for the fact that I couldn't bear to see Father miserable, I think it would be better if you did take Emerson's house. It would vex the poor good man, though.
But not you, Bessy. Is it that you?
Perhaps it is. Tell me yourself, Tom, would it not be better? I'm not considering you, Tom. Nor am I thinking of myself. I'm only inclined to do so on account of my father. We've been brought up together as children, Tom, and as children I believe sincerely attached to one another. I believe it to be very true that those who are brought up together as brother and sister do not change that affection for anything more serious in afterlife. It is therefore not our fault if we cannot feel as though... As you must know, Tom, my father wishes that we should. Am I not right?
You are, I believe, Bessy.
My father therefore is deceiving himself with the hopes of what can never be true. But I know him better than you do, Tom. It's the object of his daily thoughts, his one dying wish before he sinks into his grave. I cannot bear to undeceive him no more than you can. If I have truly judged your feelings.
You have judged right. Bessy.
The very circumstance of our knowing his wishes, the hints he'll throw out, his joking on the subject, it's estranged us. We aren't aware of how each other's feeling. I'm ignoring you. I'm fearful that the least kindness might be misconstrued. It's destroyed our mutual confidence, is that not so?
It is. I acknowledge, but too true, Bessy, and I thank you for having entered into this explanation.
Let's consult at once how we shall act to secure my father's happiness. That in future we may return to the former confidence and regard which should exist between us.
But point out how this is to be done, Bessy, and I will cheerfully enter into your wishes.
We must laugh when he laughs, Tom. Even if not inclined, we must gain time, and that's very easy. I may refuse as long as he lives, you may put it off too, and then Tom's circumstances may help us. Who knows what even a day will bring forth?
There is only one thing.
What's that?
Suppose I was to marry.
Then my father would be most unhappy.